Hi everybody, this is Sister Omi. I hope everyone's doing well. I am doing the new moon in Libra, which is on the 16th of this month. And this is going to be for the sign of Aquarius. And that's Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. So this full moon is in Libra. And new moons are basically the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new. So this is a new beginning. And we think of Libra, we think of the scales of justice, balance, being fair. But this is also a super moon. So this lunar energy is going to be really strong. And we're all going to need to tap into that Libra energy, that balance and fairness to make it through, because we're also going to be having Mercury retrograde. So this is going to have impact on communications and things like that. And then we also have Mars, which really has a lot to do with ego in one aspect. So in spite of whatever's going around or going around you at this time, Aquarius, you have to use your energy to maintain that balance, even if the stuff is stirring inside of you. So let's just get into the reading. What I did is I pulled a crystal, 3 cards, and 2 oracle cards, and one of them is a chakra card. So the first card, let me get the book here. Here we go. Kambabo Jasper. Let me get this stand here. Let me put this right here so you can look at that. There's like a little glare. Okay, there we go. The Kambaba Jasper. This deals with ancient echoes. This Jasper tunes your personal biorhythms to the natural cycles of the planet. This cycle also facilitates deep clearing of your karmic body and your ancestral line. When you live in your head rather than the physical world, your cellular structure becomes unstable and your metabolism is thrown off balance. You may not be assimilating oxygen or nutrients such as minerals and vitamins. So remember that remember that ideas are nutrients also. So disruptance of your autonomic nervous and immune system may be caused by ancient traumas or family dramas. Now, getting in touch with your ancestors and understanding the process of creation helps you to recognize the value of recycling the past to create a more potent future. Check out what has passed down your ancestral line and utilize homeopathic healing. By changing how you view things, you dramatically improve your well-being. And this is definitely an earth frequency if you think of your ancestors. But the chakras that it affects is your base, your heart. And the season is winter. So what I think we're ending we're not quite, and we're in the fall season, but we're getting into that cold. So this is that preparation, planting these new seeds to more or less, I think of winter, you think like hibernation. One cycle is ending with this new moon. We just came from that full moon where we're pulling our harvest. So this is a good time to connect with our ancestor or that ancient wisdom and the roots of our being at this particular time. So let's just put this right here. All right, can you see it? All right, or should I? Yeah. Oh no, this had a little more glare. I think there we go. It's not as much glare with the with it right there. Okay, so I pulled 3 cards and 2 oracle. All right, so this first card I pulled, which I think is interesting, is the 9 of water. Nine of Water, also known as the Nine of Cups. But I like the way it's depicted here. But this is also saying a wish has been granted. You have a sense of abundance. It's like sweet fruits, like a sweet fruit of your labor. You can see you're pulling your fish, you're pulling that net up. So you've been working, you've been working very hard up to this, to be able to get that net that full, and as you're pulling it up. So with this card, you're getting the fruits of your labor. And a good way to more or less reward yourself is maybe schedule a vacation. Take a nice bubble bath. Get up early in the morning and fix yourself a beautiful, healthy breakfast to start your day, or do some yoga, or just take some time in the morning and set some positive intentions, because you've been doing the work. And you think of the moon here, you think of mother, but you also think of mother, and you think of the ocean where you're pulling up the fruits of your labor. Now, we talk about ancient echoes. If you think about it, the ocean is the oldest cemetery. And tapping into some of those ancestral spirits, or those angelic, however you want to refer to it as, that's a deep emotional thing. Especially when you think about what has been passed down in your lineage, and what fruits, or what are you bringing up, from your past. Like I said, this particular moon, which I think is very prevalent, that's really all right here, and the cycles of the moon, is like I said, this moon can feel a little harsh, even though it's the new moon, new beginnings. And the reason that is because we're going to have Mercury retrograde, which is like communications. People can be misunderstanding people and the way they communicate. But we also have Mars, ego, could be involved. So with all that water and emotions and how you're handling it, so this is a good time to work at balancing those emotions. And the reason I'm stressing that is because on both sides of this next card, you have water. This next card is the fire element. So fire is passion. So don't let no one discourage you. You have the courage to fulfill your duties, and you are fair in your attitude, I would say, for the most part. And you can be somewhat willful. And it's funny, so some people can be willful, but they just do what they're going to do. So let me go to the next card. This next card we have here is the water, and this is a water element. And so in this deck, we look at water, we think of water as the feminine, passive energy. We also look at water as, all living things need water. So this is about tapping into your intuition, your psychic ability, your creativity, and realize water is a nutrient. It's also imaginative. You can use it for your resources, being resourceful. And if you look at your astrological chart, and if you look and see if you have 3 or more elements, Aquarius, in a fire or water sign. And if you do, I would encourage you to look at those signs. Because you have the 9 of water, you have the message from fire, and we also have the water element. So also maybe there's a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio that has an impact on your life. So looking at this, we have all water on both sides. So we don't want all this too much emotion to drown out your fire. So I want to encourage you to take this time to meditate. Use your crown chakra to connect on a more spiritual level. And I say that would bring the balance. That would help you bring in some balance. Like I said, This moon can feel harsh, so it's good to tap into that Libra energy. That's going to be needed, that balance. So you need a little bit of air to blow the water back or keep the flame on the fire going. That's pretty much really what it boils down to. Because basically what I see here is you've been working, and that's why you're at this point right now. So you need to keep your passions going. Like, don't let no one discourage you. You know right from wrong. And you have been fair. I'm looking at this, pulling this card. I would say you have been fair. And so with this energy, there's people around you who may be feeling like you should be doing something else, and you have been fair. And you've done what you're supposed to do. It's like you get a job, you do your job, but people think you're supposed to do 10 things more, but you paid me to do X, Y, Z. I'm just using that as an example. All right. Now, these two oracle cards that I pulled, this first card, or this particular chakra card, is the heart. And it's also about perception. You hear that statement like your heart is not in it, but even though you say your heart is not in it, but you're pulling up some serious bounty here. You have earned the right through your hard work and effort to reap some rewards here. So we think about things, we say, your heart is not in it, or the heart of the matter. There's something very perception. This is something really very, very personal. This is when we decide whether we will proceed or whether things will get kicked back. And when I say kick back, if we look at our chakras, we think of a foundation. We have our root chakra, our foundation, what makes us secure. We have the second chakra, which is our feelings, our emotions. And then we have the solar plex chakra, which is our mental energy, that air. So this is right before we get to that heart chakra. So how are we perceiving things? Do we need to step back and go back into that mental energy, that air, that mind, to rethink some things, even if it's really, like I said, just how are we perceiving a particular situation? This is basically a chance to embrace and transform. There's the ability to attract wealth here if you have an open heart. So maybe you need to go out, get in the sun, reevaluate how are you perceiving things. How are you using your fire? And with all this water and this moon, the moon is mother. And if your mother has transition, or you have grandmother, aunts, or uncles that may have transition, maybe some of the things that they taught you, those ancient echoes, those ancestral echoes, because that's deep in that water, that creative, transformational, and also very resourceful. And which is interesting because we have the tree of life here. And the tree of life is the baobab tree. I don't think I pronounced it right, but your thirst for knowledge will be answered by mystic thoughts in your subconscious. resourcefulness. Now, what I love about this tree, this is one of those little fun facts. These trees can hold up to 3,000 gallons of water. This is why it's considered a tree of life, like a fig tree, because you can live off it. You could be out someplace, because you need the water to live. Isn't that what we just said? All living things need water. You need that water to stimulate your creativity, your intuitiveness, your resourcefulness. Your thirst for knowledge will be answered by mystic thoughts in your subconscious. And this is why with that heart and perception, this reading with this water and this fire is asking you to go back into your solar plex chakra, more or less, and evaluate how you are, your mental energy. What are you thinking about? And using your chakra more or less to tap into spiritual and higher realms to get a download. Because I'm sure with all this water you may be getting downloads, crazy dreams, and you're not, maybe you're not paying attention to it. But this tree holds 3,000 gallons of water. And we're talking about a thirst for knowledge. So what are you thinking about? That mental energy and that crown chakra, that realizing that you are one with the universe, you are one with nature. So how are you what is your perception of your current situation? Because the more you open up your heart, the more you attract, the more resources, the more fish you're going to have in your net. So Aquarius, let me know what you think. Because you are being encouraged here to meditate, to tap into your resources that you already have. Alright? So let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And give me a thumbs up. This is Sister Omi. Peace.